we're finally at the messiest bitches of them all.
Oh my God. Who's the messiest bitch you know?
A man.
It's a man.
Hello, baddies. I just wanted to give a fair warning that this is part 2 of our couple throuple recap. So if you haven't watched part 1, you can go back and find that in the same feed or playlist. This is part 2 and enjoy.
When she spoon and
like a BB moment, which is like a beautiful black moment. Did we get any of those in this episode?
Black.
We have a chaotic vibe moment of the
Chaotic bi moment. And you're watching Black Bi Reality.
Black by Daddy.
And those who love us.
as we were hinting to earlier, we saw you from across the bar, Corey and Wilder.
Okay. I want to hear y'all thoughts on them, because for me, like, I think this was the sneak, like, oh, you are gonna be polyamorous or I'm leaving you couple. Like, Wilder is so, he said he's straight, he's heterosexual, and Corey was like, I am newly bisexual, aka I am forced to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because, and they talk about their experiences in the past where they've tried to have threesomes, or they've had threesomes and stuff like that, and how she's felt uncomfortable, like when she left the room and they started kissing and all this stuff. And then her putting on a brave face in that first mixer, and then going to their room that night, and I don't mean to like fast forward through everything, but like,
Yeah.
it's just the red flags of like, I don't think she really truly wants this, but she wants to be with him, and this is what she has to do, to be with him. So maybe that's what I kind of picked up on. Quita, did you think it was something different?
Well, when you say that, it starts, because there were a lot of red flags for me with them and their dynamic, because it was very clear that like the infidelity or the things that have happened between them before still really sits with Corey. Like, she, being really hard to trust, and then like when they're in the jealousy exercise or the boundaries exercise, and like she immediately is like, nah, they ain't kissing. I was like, dang, like not even like a little pet, like nothing. She's like, no. Yeah, I was just like, okay, there's something going on here between them. I'm like, oh, but when you say it like that, it's like, oh, I could kind of see how this might be an issue of like, Wilder's like, well, I want to keep doing this, and this is the only way I'll keep doing this relationship. Because I'm like, it didn't seem like Corey's ever expressed that like she really loves this, but she's like, we've done this before, like, we're not new to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if that was also just a one-time thing, because it's like, I don't know how in this you are. And at first I was like, oh, so he definitely cheated by how she was acting and talking, and not to like, trying to be careful. Like, your feelings are valid. Your feelings are very valid about the situations she said, but it was like, yeah, I was gonna do a threesome. I left the room. I come back. They're making out. Like, I wonder what if it was already a conversation of like, you can't kiss another girl unless I'm there, or if it was a situation of like, we're having a threesome, we'll figure it out. And honestly, the whole someone leaves to come back to the other two making out is like kind of the way a lot of people end up starting a threesome. So I was like, oh, that was what got you? And that was like your boundary? I wonder if you voiced that. I mean, Wilder is ready to eat it and just be like, yeah, I messed up. So I guess he did. But it's like, it's really wild to me. And yeah, I didn't clock until my second watch that she said newly bisexual. Because to
me too. Second watch.
To me, I was like, they're giving queer vibes. Like, I'm kind of disappointed in Wilder being straight. Like, you're too fashionable. to be straight, but if you say so. So in the first mixer, it seems like they only had eyes for one. They were just talking to Denise, and Corey was just like, "Oh, I want to talk to her, but I can't pull her. So you got to go do it for me." So he does the work, and it's a lot. It's like I wouldn't want to like totally question. I don't want to question Corey's like sexuality because
true.
I also think what she's doing in terms of Denise was actually very bi girl panic of like, oh my God, I like her, but I've never done this before. So do I approach her like she's my friend, or like, do I have to put on like a sexy air or something? Like that's by realness right there. So, but yeah, she is an anxious attachment one, and I will say it seems like Wilder's very patient. Like he seems like a good partner, honestly.
Yeah, but
we don't want to give these men that.
I truly don't, because like I'm wondering if like you said, like, oh, somebody goes away, people are kissing, you come back. To me, I'm like, okay, so how did they find that girl? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you said, the Wilder bring that girl over, like this is the girl we're having a threesome with. Corey's trying to get to know her. She goes to the bathroom and all of a sudden y'all are kissing. So to me, I'm like, oh, so y'all, was there something? I'm thinking there's something here for y'all to just be kissing. Because she does say like we were still in the process of like talking and getting to know each other when I got up to go to the bathroom, and then I come back and they're making out. So I would kind of be a little side-eyed too, you know, because it's like, did you want a threesome, or did you already cheat on me with this girl and you then brought her in our bed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just don't.
You're bringing in your detective skills from Crime Scene podcast.
Okay.
You're picking up on little things.
But also, I'm just like, I get that she's like, what happened when I was in the bathroom? But I'm like, there is a thing where you're needing more information from this girl in order to feel comfortable going there. And Wilder's like, I'm attracted to her. You're attracted to her. We're attractive people. Like, you know, like you weren't talking anymore. And so we just started making out. I'm sure Laura was like, I wanted to make out when you were here, but you wanted to talk. You know, I hear what she's saying, but I'm like, also, it might not be that deep. Like, it might not be that deep for Wilder. Which is why Wilder's like, I'm sorry. Like, okay, I won't do that again.
Yeah. And I think it's also very queer coded of how much processing that our girl needs to do. It's like, that's why I'm like, they give lesbian. I know I'm not misgendering this man, but it gives lesbian of like, but we need to like really talk about the dynamics and what this is going to mean for our relationship before we bring this third. And like, oh my gosh, the stakes are just so high, baby girl. So yeah, we have our challenge of what was their safe word is Scott, which is nice. He said, I can be your safe space. I love that. Yeah, I know. And you know, Denise, she's first talking, and they're just like flirting a little. And then she gets, I think she saddles him.
Yeah, straddles.
Straddles. I'm like, saddles?
And he's on the back, and he was like turned away from her too.
Yeah, he's on his stomach.
That couldn't have been comfortable.
And Corey is quivering, shaking, about to throw up. She said, Scott. She said, Scott cries. And they reward her. They're like, thank you for giving your reality TV tears. Here's a date.
That's so true.
That is true.
True. That's exactly what they wanted.
Right. And also she did the exercise. Like she named when she was uncomfortable, which everyone can't say that they did the same. We'll get to them. But It was like she was just like, look, I'm uncomfortable. He looks like he's into this, and this needs to stop immediately.
Yeah, the one thing they have going for them is they have a lot of communication, like you guys said. Like they have a lot of communication, so like open communication and saying how each other feels. And like you said, Wilder does validate her feelings, and he actually like he actually like re I don't even know, like reconstitutes her
Affirms.
feelings in a way that like when she was freaking out in the bathroom, and he was like, okay, well let's walk it through it. He's like, so you're feeling kind of anxious. He's like, and that yellow light is blinking for you, but but it's just a warning. It's not red. It's
Right.
okay. We're still going. She's like, oh yeah, you're so right. Like, so I agree with you guys there. They do communicate perfectly enough so that they can work through this, and her being like, I need to be more a part of the process, because you can tell that it's triggering her. Like, it's almost like if they want this process to work, they need to find a third that she needs to be the lead in finding the third. And because I feel like Wilder doesn't. I don't know. I don't feel like he cares. Like,
No, he doesn't.
like you said, she's attractive, and we're kids, and we're making. So I do like that. She was brave enough to be like, I can't do that, even though it was like, girl, come on, like. But it created a foundation, I think, for the three of them.
Absolutely. They have this nice date while the messy have your dinner with your second, which they didn't have a second. Let's be for real. Who would they have invited to this? Like, so, Denise is like, yeah, you are actually very brave. I think it's a superpower for you to be that vulnerable. Like, she's saying all the right things.
All the right things, yeah.
Yeah, I think that night they end up having their first kiss in bed.
That makes sense.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe in episode 3.
Maybe on episode 3.
I think it's episode
I'm not
3.
sure. Okay, all right.
Yeah, but there's a lot of build up. Corey's like, I want that kiss, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready. And Denise is like, I just want to kiss them. Like, this is what I'm here for, and it's not happening. But yeah, they eventually get there.
The third competition with the jealousies again. She's very open. Like, Corey's like, I get jealous when I feel like he's connecting with them more than me, or whatever she said. She's and she was even, I love that. I love that she was like, and I'm not going to throw this in the fire because I need to work on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree. And then everybody's like, they're the couple. That's what I want. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Like, but I get it. Like, now that I've talked you guys into a little bit out. Y'all have talked me into like thinking that they could do well, because I still do think they're communicating really well, even though I don't know if this was like Corey's idea initially.
Yeah. Which is a fair question. Hopefully that gets answered later.
Yeah.
So, at the end of all of this, we get the swap ceremony, and yeah, that's them. Yeah, they stick. They stay with Denise. No surprise.
The only couple to stay.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see if anyone could turn Corey's head, because that seems like the make or break of this.
Yeah. And I think Denise is just so, like, she's really good. Like you said, she was kind of frustrated, but at least she was patient. I think they both are like, all right, Corey, like, like, we'll go on your speed. So
yeah.
And I think Corey understands that if they do swap, she'll have to start this all over again.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, do we stay with Denise, who we've been having good interactions with so far? She's been patient. She's been like validating and affirming, or do we take a risk and start with someone else? And then they might invalidate Corey's feelings and being like, it's not that deep. It's just a kiss. Like, let's just kiss or something.
And honestly, I think the like the stronger thing or the braver thing to do for them is to stay with Denise. because
Mhm.
she could run away from her feelings or from that breaking down of that wall and pick somebody else and really never let anybody in. So
Right.
it just still kind of disturbs me though that they kind of look like brother and sister.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I'm sorry, but sometimes the femme they do that. Like the fact that Dylan and Lauren basically went for Lauren's twin. It was like
I didn't want to say doppelganger, but I did, it was right there.
Some queer people, they're like, my type, me. It's like, good for you. Good for you. All right. Now we're finally at the messiest bitches of them all.
Oh my God. Who's the messiest bitch you know?
A man.
It's a man.
Okay. Meet Rehman and Ashaml. They met prior to COVID, then quarantined together. And Rehman said that they're Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. He's just the pretty one. Well, Ashaml is funny. Hate that comp. Hate it.
Oh gosh.
And they've had threesomes and foursomes in the past, and then they have kicked people out the next day. So they're probably not the best in treating their visitors in the bedroom.
Right.
Yes. Their dynamic is so interesting to me because I was like, yes, finally some gay queer people. Like, come on, man, give us that emotional vulnerability that we got from Ultimatum
Gay
Queer
men,
Love.
Mari.
Yeah, I know. I set unrealistic expectations. They came in very hot, like I was like, oh, they're gonna do this. They're gonna find their throuple. And I didn't realize how big of that backstory that we were gonna get between like Rehman being like bi, and that Ash was his
Ashaml
first.
is bi. Rehman isn't. He's gay.
Sorry, yes, you're right. I'm sorry, Ashaml.
But then they try to play it off in the trailer. Yeah, they try to play it off in the trailer. If Rehman's just don't knock it till you try it. This man is gay, baby.
He's a gay man. He's a gay man.
That too. Yeah. So Ash is bisexual, and Ray is he's claiming don't knock it till you try it, but I don't know. And that Ray is Ash's first boyfriend. I didn't realize how pivotal that was going to be until later on. But I still like them. They're so cute, but the communication is not communicating.
And like, to be honest, Ashaml is so good. Like, I think no notes, sweetie. He handles so much of this well.
Keep doing what you're doing.
It's other people. So let's talk about this mixer because they had their eyes pretty much all over the place. So no slides. But who they talk to is that, first of all, Chris is like hippie, muscular, but then has like a femme voice going on. He has his bulge front and center in those pink little pants.
I remember the bulge. Don't remember his name.
I know.
There. I was like, Thor.
Yeah, that's right. Thor's hammer. That's what I remember.
Yes. Meanwhile, Frank, a tall, dark-skinned black man, he's there, and then he says that he's from LA. Rehman has the nerve to fix his mouth and be like, oh, well, LA gays, there's just a thing with them. So no. The way Rehman acts later, I'm like, let's revisit LA gays, because are you ruling them out because of the stereotype or because you're scared of what the LA gays will think of you? because the way you treated this man, yes, an LA gay would drag you down. Read you down. You got off easy with Jonathan.
Very.
Very. So, yeah. They talk about, they did talk to a woman. I will give them that at the mixer. They talked to Jess, but in the end, they picked Jonathan. Jonathan's a cutie. He's a bisexual, just like Ashaml. They both had this journey about coming out to their families. Doesn't seem like a problem then.
It becomes a very big problem later, though. Like, I'm again, where's the footages? Because what happened between the first night when they're all like, "Oh, this is so nice," / "Oh, okay, wait, we're all like making out and doing stuff now," to the next morning where Rehman feels like he's not being included. You know,
Right.
Yeah. Well, okay. So they say from their past, right, that they've had threesomes, foursomes, but they kicked them out the next day. Maybe Rehman was just very triggered of like, yeah, Jonathan stuck around, and then that gives more time for him to talk to Ashaml about what they have in common, and he gets pissy about it. Honestly, pissy is the best word for how he acts.
Yeah.
About this whole situation. And it's actually really frustrating to me because, first of all, bi men, like, my heart goes out to them. They be having it rough while we're getting objectified, and we see it in this very show. Like, I feel like bi men get no space, and Rehman, he acts on that. He just gives them no space to just be themselves, and it's so sad.
Yeah. And there was something kind of like underlining misogynistic, like it gave me like body count. Like I think that Rehman loved that he was Ash's like one and only like gay. You know, we don't know. Well, we don't know if Ash had been like, you know, hooking up with other people, but I think Ray liked that he was his first gay relationship.
Yeah.
And seeing like Jonathan and Ash connect, and now he's not the only one. It's kind of, you get what I'm saying when I link it to the body count type of thing. Like the girls don't count, but like I'm the guy, and now I'm singing with another guy, and now I don't really like this. I don't know if I'm liking this type thing.
Right. Because Ashaml did say he had hooked up with men before, but he hadn't. Or right, he said that, right? But he hadn't been in a relationship. Like,
and their relationship started because Rehman said this isn't gonna just be a hookup. He actually put the pressure to like lock that shit down.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely like what you're saying. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Rehman might have felt like, oh yeah, I'm the one that it's something special about me because he's in a relationship with me, and like it's.
I think he said that too later on.
He does. He's like, is this? And like, honestly, that also just comes into any polyamorous situation. Is like, oh my god, but this person like. Aren't I their person? It goes like strictly against that they can make connections with other people. But it is like a very biphobic thing as well, of just like feeling like the bisexual could just leave at any moment because they can be into anybody, and like they're hypersexualized and everything like that. And I think this whole dynamic totally plays into that. So
yeah, there's a lot of things going on in this situation.
So yeah, they definitely jump into bed and have a threesome. They're not doing what Sanu was doing about processing anything. And the next day, so Rehman basically starts giving the silent treatment.
Yeah. Weird energy down. Like I don't know. Like, it felt like it came out of nowhere.
It did. It did. Yeah, I think he just really was uncomfortable of having the man still around, and Ashaml being like just a friendly, kind person. He's like, Why are you even talking to him? We get into the whole jealousy. Oh my gosh. The
Ooh.
jealousy
But
whole
before
channel.
that, the boundaries one.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
boundaries
that's what I
exercise.
meant.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
boundaries
Oh,
exercise.
okay. Sorry.
Mhm. Yes. So for the boundaries, I don't even remember what poor Jonathan was doing, honestly, because it became all about Rahman.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there like I felt like he kept
That
going,
face. Oh my God. This is the one that pissed me off like the most, because it's like you agree to the terms of like, at the very least, my partner and this person are doing something. If I feel uncomfortable, I'm gonna say the safe word.
objection.
Objection. Rehman sat there outwardly beaming that he has a problem with what's going on, but doesn't say the safe word.
Mm-mm.
And because Ash can pick up on that, because I mean, duh, anybody could pick up on it. Ash was like, "Oh, we're so connected. I could pick on it." No, girl. Like
Yeah,
we
he's
can all
just-
see he was very bad. You know,
He's making it that obvious.
yeah, that they're kissing and or whatever. So it puts Ash in the situation where he has to then say the safe word.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Well, why'd you say the safe word?" He's like, "I said the
Mhm.
safe word because clearly Rahman looks uncomfortable," which is
Mhm.
so unfair to your partner. Like, Ash is not a mind reader. He is not telepathic. And it was so rude of Rehman to put that on him, like, "Oh, but you said the safe word after he tongued you down.
Yep.
Why didn't you say the safe word before the tonguing down?
Yep.
Like you agreed to doing this challenge."
Yep.
Right.
He's like, "I didn't want other people to judge me for saying the safe word."
Right. And it's like, are you more concerned with other people's perception of you
Yes.
versus understanding your own needs around
Mhm.
engaging with a third person in your relationship? Like,
And expressing them.
Mhm.
that part. But yes, like being able to express it. But it's like it literally, he did not do the exercise at all. Like it felt like he agreed to the exercise, and then in his mind, he's like, this exercise is noting how far Jonathan and Ashaml will go without me, or you know. And I was just like, that's not the exercise. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be mad at anything Jonathan is doing, because his role in this is to push your potential boundaries to see what you're comfortable with. And you're mad at your own partner because you feel like he's into this, which he theoretically should be into this because y'all picked this person that y'all just hooked up with last night. So it's just like, is he doing something y'all weren't doing in the bed together last night? Or is it like it's like Rehman could not figure out his own boundaries or allow himself to like explore, like, what am I truly uncomfortable with? Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it became, he immediately, like, the first thing he's like, yeah, how I feel about it is Jonathan could have said anything because Ashaml is so easy, he would have been into it. And
Yes. And he's like basically devaluing Jonathan of like, well, my partner's just easy, which also again plays into the bisexual stereotype of like, they're just so easy. And it's like, which is it? You want us, but then you want to act like punish us for being, you know, I don't know. It's so ridiculous.
I'm not gonna lie, they triggered me because I've been in a relationship like that. Like, do not try and make me feel bad, but you still can't express your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, and then he just moping around. Like you said, giving Jonathan the cold shoulder. Poor Jonathan is like, yo, the vibes are off. At least Ash is sitting here like trying to talk and communicate and talk it out, just for Rehman to keep swinging the stick at him, which I was like, I need you to stop being mean to this man. You know?
Exactly. That was so. Jonathan gets into bed with them after all of this. They are in the bottom sheet and the comforter. He has a white sheet.
Yeah.
And on the very opposite, that's when you get your ass up and go find Becca, because Becca's like sleeping on the couch somewhere. What? this was insane how long that this went. And it's just emotional immaturity. It's wanting your partner to act like a parent and be like, you should read my needs. No, that's what a parent does, boo-boo. It's not what your partner does.
My 4-year-old does that. Like, why are you imitating a toddler right now?
Exactly. And then I hated that, like, after this, he later claims when Ashaml's like, you're actually treating this person inhumanely. You don't look at them when they talk. He said, well, now you're being dramatic. No, bitch. You and Brittany and Sean need courses on how to treat human beings, because this is insane. That your boyfriend has to say, hey, can you look at us when we're talking to you?
It's like, as a resident of the Mean Girls Club, when somebody has pissed me off or done something against me, have I done similar behavior? Yes, I'm just going to be honest. However, neither Jonathan nor Sanu did anything to the other person, right? It's like they're literally just existing and doing this show the way that they were instructed to do it. And it's like they make some unspoken transgression, because it's literally unspoken in both cases. Like Brittany is not communicating with Sanu her issues with her, and Rehman is not communicating with literally anybody about his issues with this setup, you know, or with Jonathan, and like literally just not speaking to them at all. It's like, you knew you were being rude when y'all were sitting at that table together, and Ashaml is like, hey, like, can you look this way? We're literally talking to you. Like, get over yourself. This is not, like, Jonathan did nothing wrong. And actually, Ashaml didn't do anything wrong either.
Yeah.
Didn't this go on for 2 days too?
Yes.
Yes.
It went on too long. It was indefensible. And when he gets confronted, Ramon's like, well, I own it. I own it. And it's like, you don't own it, because he basically said you're acting inhumanely, and he's like, well, you're just being dramatic. And like, I think he even claimed, well, I didn't know you guys were talking to me, so which one is it? I don't think you own it at all. And so yeah, it goes on way too long. But you know, Ashaml later has to cry, which is so, this is actually such a common dynamic. Like, it's like the person will keep stonewalling until they interpret you crying or getting as upset as them as caring. Not the questions of how are you doing and trying to talk. That's not caring. I need you to match my energy, and then I know you care. So he's crying and everything, and he's like, maybe I should be a bad boyfriend. Like, maybe I should make promises I can't keep. Like, he's actually saying these devastating things as he's crying, and then all of a sudden, freaking Ramon's like, no, I love you. And it all gets solved with a twirl. I was like,
yeah.
Not with the twirl. This is like a perfect example of like a lot of these couples actually need couples therapy and not adding another person into this situation. Because it's like doing non-monogamy or polyamory just highlights the issues within your current relationship, like adding more people into it. And it's like I know I keep comparing the two couples, but like, or like putting them together, but Brittany and Sean and Rehman and Ashaml are just like great examples of like these two couples on their own actually have a really hard time communicating, and adding someone else in just like massively highlights like their gaps around communication. And then the ways that they as a unit will just be like, they'll figure it out. But it's like, actually, they haven't resolved anything. Like nothing has been resolved in the original conflict or issue that came up. They're just deciding to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, okay, so Jonathan, he's venting to someone about this whole situation. And he's like, this is actually kind of weird because I'm actually more physically attracted to Rehman. And I'm like, oh, I hate this. I hate this enemies to lovers. Storyline. So Rehman's like, okay, I'm finally gonna pull him aside, and you know, he's like, oh, I've been acting wild and everything like that. And Jonathan's like, actually, I'm like much, like, I was so drawn to you and I wanted to make this work, da da da. And you just see short Rehman just grow a feet, like foot taller, hearing all this gas.
Yep. He that smile broke out really quickly on his face. Meanwhile, Ash is down there like, I hope they kiss. Like,
He's so secure, my king, my
Love him.
king. Oh my god. So, and in the end, we have the swap ceremony, and honestly, they probably should have been the last because they were last in the episode, and we have a cliffhanger. We swapped.
Not the.
We swapped Jonathan, but with who? We'll never know. Who do you guys think?
Right.
I don't know, but he did the way he said it too. Didn't he say like we're gonna swap it or we're gonna make a change? He said something very dehumanizing to me. Right?
I noted it. This is what he said. He said, we would like to move on to something new.
That's what it was. I was like, oh, I felt so bad for Jonathan here.
You can't even say someone?
Yeah. My only guess would be Frank, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we do get there is a shot of like Ray like jumping into Frank's arms.
Yeah. And like, let's talk about Frank for a minute, because he is the only Black man living his truth on this show. Black men are very sexualized in the gay community, really any community, let's be real. He was the one who was from LA, so I already think Rehman's going to be triggered and insecure about something when it comes to this man. But he likes height, so there you go. They also, and I caught this after the matching ceremony the first time around, is that Ashaml said Frank also was hitting it off with every couple.
Yeah, yep, they did say that.
Yeah, when he was talking to Sean, by the pool.
And I just think that's a little, I don't know. I think it's weird how they're talking about Frank.
I made a note when I was watching it the first time. Frank stepped forward for Corey and Wilder, and I was like, "Is Wilder bi? Did I miss something? Why is?"
Yo, I think he's like me. maybe we're a bit delulu, but it's like, Wilder, what's the last time we had a little check-in? I don't know. I also like that. He's confident. I don't know. Team Frank.
Frank, yeah. I think we will eventually see Frank in some capacity.
Yeah. We definitely will.
Oh, that's all the couples.
Okay.
No, but on the next time on though.
Yo, I didn't look. Well, I know I did, but there's nothing big. What do you guys want to talk about when it comes to the next on?
Well, there's a actual what seems like a queer couple coming. Did you miss it? Yeah, there's a new couple coming, and I mean, I don't know, stereotype, but like they look very open, both the man and the woman.
Oh my god, it's another man woman?
Yes, but I'm saying I'm pretty sure they're both openly queer. Like I would be very shocked if this man comes and says I'm straight.
Oh my god, let me look.
Yeah, I'm so super excited because they seem to really like kind of shake things up because they both seem like open to everybody. So I think they come in with a bang, and a lot of the singles that are matched are actually looking at them as well. So
I like that. That gives Love Island energy. That gives Bombshell
Bombshell. I mean, I wish they would have started out, but if better late than never.
Right.
No, I like this. I wish it was freaking like lesbian couple. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? But him being bi does open things up, because I swear to God, if we add another heterosexual man, I'm writing a letter.
Yeah. And then also in the next time on, it looked like Mia. It looks like Mia. doesn't really hit it off with Lauren.
Is it
Yeah, but I think
because he's really into Mia? Because that's what I wondered. I'm
I
like,
think so. That's what I'm getting the vibe of. Yeah.
Mm.
Darian looks to be interested in the new couple, was what I
Okay.
also saw him the next time on.
Nice.
Looked like a lot of drama. Like Ray and Ash, like there's a maybe like a sound bite clip bait
Yeah.
type thing where they're like, oh, maybe we don't even need to be together or something like that. So
yeah, I
I'm
think
excited.
I remember that. I'm like, I hope let Ash
True.
live his best bisexual life, please.
Let him
'Cause
and Jonathan run along.
yeah,
They
oh my god! And if they find a girl, that's what I want. Let's have 2 men, 1 woman, please.
Right?
Mm.
So not giving that. I can't see that happening
I
anytime
do
soon.
wonder if we're gonna get more singles because, like, it really felt like the singles dwindled down in the last. And I'm like, who the heck is
It's originally
missing?
supposed to be 14. It's originally 14 singles.
But
I
then what
wouldn't be
happened to
surprised if by the second mixer, some people are like, I'm not feeling any other couples.
But then I like, will we get fresh blood?
I don't know.
I don't know. Also, one thing that came to my mind also when we were talking about Britney and her attraction or non-attraction to women, I wonder because as a bi femme, I think I thought I would say, oh, I'm bi curious for so long until I realized like mask women were a thing.
That's what I was wondering too.
We don't really have any mask baddies on this lineup. We have Lena, and I don't even know if Lena identifies as mask. Lena just has short hair, but if you see Lena's picture, she got the harness on the thigh.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She come
But-
out strong.
But then you gotta this is a throuple thing.
Yes.
So it's like that's the unfortunate part of this. This isn't just
But
dating,
I think I just want to
we're
like
dating.
leave.
It's because Sean's here too. Hi,
Mhm,
Sean.
mhm.
Yeah.
I think I just want to leave that space for Brittany and Corey when it comes to talking about whether they are or not attraction to women, because that's part of also the expansive thing of attraction is like some people like me, I'm attracted to, I would say, masculinity on everyone, no matter the gender. So yeah, but if you don't have any femmes, it's gonna give friendship.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what because she said she talked to women before. So I'm just like, so you've done talking stages. So I'm curious what those women look like, especially her dynamic with Sean, but what she's named of like, she doesn't approach people first. Right. So I'm like, if she has been in a talking stage with a woman, to me, it sounds like it probably was a masculine woman who approached her. But then she didn't maybe necessarily take the leap because she was unsure of how she felt about it. Right.
It could have been a stud. It could have been a stud. A stud might be somewhere, like punching the air right now.
Crying, throwing up. But that's what I'm saying. She said she's always been in the talking stage with them. That so she knows that she can form emotional connection with women.
Yeah.
But like we said, do we know if she can take that next step and take it from an emotional connection to a sexual connection to a relationship connection? And we don't know. I don't know if she knows.
It's like she might not know unless she tries.
Tries it exactly. So she probably she got scared, or something like that, and just never took the leap, like you guys said. So I don't know. Maybe this is supposed to be the leap, but like you said, maybe there's no women who are piquing her because she's attracted to masked women. But again, Sean is right there. Or is he gonna let all of the?
He's not, because the way that he talked about, he doesn't know what would happen with this third person. I'm just like, so it's giving me, you also don't understand queer sex either. because it felt like he was like, if I'm occupied, I literally don't know what this other person would be doing. And it's like,
Right.
having a good ass time. Like, we don't
Yeah.
need your penis explicitly to have a good time in this scenario. And it's like, she could also be doing something with you or doing something with Brittany or like herself. Like, there's so many options in this, but it's giving to me, he's a very heterosexual, heteronormative man, and he
Yes.
cannot
It's him
like
hard.
he can't even like, it's like he can't conceive of an
Like,
idea.
Is he even a freak? Is he even a freak?
He's not a freak.
So
He's
why
not
are
a
you
freak
here?
because he's afraid of Peach, honestly. Because
He's so
he was
scared.
like, Peach is a freak. And I was like, she has a tongue ring and she's bisexual. Like, what are freaky vibes? Like, what are we talking about? She didn't say anything to me that gave like super freaky.
She is talking about dom or submissive. Are you a top or a bottom? Like,
but it's like those are actually just generally questions. But also if you are very vanilla, I can see how it's like,
I think he's vanilla.
freaky. Like,
absolutely.
Like,
yeah. I think he's vanilla, and I think they both want something more. And again, at least I don't know. They just don't know what they want. Like, they don't know what they want. Like, why didn't you talk about the sexual aspect before you came on the show?
Literally.
Like, what do you mean you're here on the show and you're like, I can't imagine how the sex would go? Like, huh?
And she doesn't help him. She doesn't help him. It's like, girl, do you have any fantasies of your own if you're in this thing?
Like,
right. But
she's
I
like,
think,
well, I'm not going to start anything.
And I think because they have an inability to communicate, and because he's so like, he doesn't know what's going on, and she might be afraid of how he might perceive if she were to name like, oh, I can think of some things that she'd be doing, you know, she might be afraid of how he would receive her in that way.
Maybe. All right, on this podcast, guys, when we do our recaps, we always have two questions. One is, what's the beautiful Black moment of the episodes? And then also, what is the chaotic bi moment? And yes, we do the chaotic bi moment for every recap to follow the Black bi theme. Usually it's a stretch, but thank God for this one. We are closer to the money. So, Mari, do you want to go first on what your beautiful Black moment is?
It's hard for a beautiful Black moment. I'm sorry within this drop. I'm sorry. I think my favorite beautiful Black moment was Peach being very upfront and being very complimentary of Sean and Brittany when she first met them. She really, I don't know what kind of edit they're trying to give her, but I think she is just so like fun and endearing and a little like shady in a good way. Yeah. So Peach is my black moment. My chaotic bi moment would probably be Corey just honestly just having a slight mental breakdown in the bathroom the night before the choosing ceremony. She was very much bouncing off the walls. I felt bad for her, but I'm glad that Wilder was there to calm her down. So those are my two moments.
Nice.
My beautiful Black moment, which I mean, it was honestly kind of chaotic, but when they are around the fire about to do the jealousy exercise, and Brittany goes, where'd she go? She's like, wait. And people are like, she's like, there's a little spider thing. She's like, I know I'm supposed to be keeping my composure and like doing this exercise and acting like we're not in the elements filming right now, but I need y'all to know there's this big ass spider thing on the ground. And
all these hermit crabs.
Yes. I think it's like what complimented it more was that like she's doing that. Dr. Howard's like, and like freaking out. And then like Corey just like, oh, it's just a little hermit. And like literally picks up this hermit crab and moves it as the Black women are like, what the hell is going on around us? Am I safe? I'm like, yes.
I think Dylan jumped too. I think I saw Dylan jump a little bit too.
Oh gosh. And then the chaotic bi moment, I think has to be Lauren and Becca and like longing, because queers are always longing. And so like recognizing that this configuration won't work because Dylan's not into it, but they really love each other or like each other and are attracted to each other, but they'll just be friends. Like, gotta love that yearning and longing.
The fact that Jess said that was like the first time she felt that way about another woman, I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is a lot. My beautiful black moment has to be Sanu. Just being confident, knowledgeable, graceful throughout this whole thing. Like, you cannot tell me she did a single misstep, even though I didn't want her to apologize and I wanted her to give up on them. Like, that's me. That is quick to cut off. Like, the minute I see you up to some mess, she's like, oh, I can see some potential, and that's that. Some people got to be like that. And then for my chaotic bind moment is giving Becca. Becca will steal your girl. She don't care. She will say you're not here for the right reasons, da da da. And she was salty, and she even admitted that she was salty and gave her reasons why. So you know what?
Very Renee Rapp vibes, like. Sorry, your girl's leaving with me.
Period.
So I'm looking forward to see if she gets up to anything else. And yeah, that's definitely my chaotic buy.
Whew. On a different note, this is the perfect match house.
That makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
My bestie pointed that out to me. I was like, you are incredibly right. It is.
Yeah.
They just
Different
kind of filmed it
angles.
from a different angle. Yep.
Yes. I was like, when you say that, the walkway over the water. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally is.
Wow.
Nice. All right. It was a blast and a lot that we just talked about.
It was 3 episodes, you know?
Right, it was the drop.
3 episodes.
Yeah.
And we will be back with more, but it might look a little different. So Mari, tell people where they can follow you and what you're doing and all that good stuff.
Of course, you can follow me over on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2, like the number 2. You can also find me again over on the Crime Scene podcast with Sarah Carradine. Each week, we break down a true crime a property, like a documentary, a docuseries. We watch it, rate it, and review it, and tell you if you should watch it as well. Like I said, Nicole has been a guest over there at least 2 times, if I remember correctly. And you can go to robhasawebsite.com/crime feed in order to subscribe to that. Also, if by chance you're interested in wrestling, you want to see some half naked men and half naked women roll around. Great time. Me and Matt Scott, we make it very fun. Over on the Wrestling Wrap Up podcast, you can go to robhasawebsite.com/wrestling feed in order to subscribe over there. Or you can watch us on the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube page, which I would definitely suggest. If you're on this YouTube page, just go to the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube page. Check out Wrestling Wrap Up. We bring up nice pictures too. We do that too. So you don't even have to watch wrestling to listen to us. We're very fun. And we make it very easy to watch along with us and get it along with us. So you can check me out over there as well.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me on. This is fun.
Of course. How about you, Quita?
You can find me on Instagram at hello_Quita for my hot takes on social justice and political issues, as well as reality TV and pop culture.
Yeah. And you guys can find all those links below. Again, I'm Nicole Weaver. I want you to subscribe to this channel if you like what you see. Like this, please. If you liked watching, you can also follow the podcast on podcast apps if you're ever on the go. I am also an entertainment writer, and I am writing over at Collider. I'm writing several articles about this show, and once they're up, I can link them down below. But most importantly, I would love it if you guys followed Black by Reality across all of your socials. Take care of yourselves, and see you next time for Couple to Throuple.